Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is Kayla if you're new here, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but wow, this year went by so fast and it's already December. So to wrap things up this year, I decided to do a take on one of my favorite videos, which is my 2024 favorites. I've seen this type of video go around year after year for beauty favorites or fashion favorites, and I thought I would do my own spin on it as a small business owner. So I have my phone here and I wrote down different categories to kind of make things a little bit easier for you guys. So I have 4 main categories. So I have equipment, software, market essentials, and also self-care essentials. So let's just start off with equipment. I'm already using it right now, and that is my camera. I'm using the DJI Pocket Osmo 3 and I got the creator combo, and I've been asked about this camera a lot and I've been hyping it up a lot as well. I previously had the Sony ZV-1 and I can honestly say hands down that the DJI Pocket 3 is way better. I highly recommend you to get the creator combo if you're interested in getting a vlogging camera for yourself, because this one includes a mic, a carrying case, extra batteries, and also a tripod. But I really love this camera mostly because it's very discreet and it doesn't look like a traditional camera. As you guys might know, I'm very introverted and I get shy when I'm vlogging in public, so the fact that this is really small and actually pocket sized, I can just place it somewhere, and actually I found out that a lot of people don't even know what it is. I was at a market one day and this vendor beside me, she said, "Hey, can I ask you, what is that you're holding?" And then when I explained that it was a camera, she was like shocked. So I like the fact that it's discreet and that it's very portable, and I do think that the camera quality is better than my ZV-1. This one, when I'm walking around, the gimbal helps everything stay really nice and stable, and I also like the picture quality as well. So yeah, I pretty much use this camera every single day, and it is on the pricier side, but you can get one used on Facebook, and I think I've seen people selling it for like $800, so you can save a couple $100s that way. The next favorite I have, I've also been using it a ton this year, and it's my Munbin thermal printer. So I have it here, and this is the pink version, and I recently upgraded to the Bluetooth wireless one. I used to have the white and black one that I had to plug into my computer, but this one is so great because it links to the app on my phone and I can print shipping labels just like from anywhere. And this is not sponsored, but I'm pretty sure you guys know Munbin is like the go-to product for thermal printers. I've literally seen every single small business owner use this, and it's great for not only shipping labels, but you can use it for lots of other things. For example, the circular labels on the bottom of my candles, I use a thermal printer for that. I use it for my mystery bag stickers. I've seen people use it for price tags. So the list goes on, and I just like how versatile it is. And it's honestly very easy to set up, and it does self-calibrate as well, so you don't have to waste a bunch of time when you are changing between sticker sizes. Also, compared to a traditional printer, this is inkless because it uses heat to activate the ink. The ink. So it's a great alternative because I don't have to keep paying for ink cartridges, which can add up a ton. The next thing that I also wanted to talk to you guys about is my wax melter. And as a small business owner who is a candle business, I needed to find a good wax melter that's reliable and that's also quick and easy to use. And I stumbled across my 2 auto wax melter this year. This is what it looks like. It's giant. I also have a smaller black version, but this is the pink. I believe this is the 8-quart or 8-liter. I'll leave it linked down below for you guys. But it's so heavy, I just don't even want to carry it right now. But my wax melter from 2 Auto has been honestly a game changer since I started making my candles this year. It heats up the wax so fast, and I like the fact that I can set a temperature and it will actually keep the wax at that temperature. Because if you guys aren't familiar with candle making, it's actually very sciencey and kind of like baking, where things have to be exact in order for the candle to turn out properly. So the wax has to be melted at a certain temperature, has to be poured at a certain temperature, and things like that. So having a reliable wax melter has been really great, and the fact that this one is large is like a game changer, especially during the holiday season when I was making hundreds of candles every day. I like this one in particular because they recently upgraded to this digital display. So I don't know if you guys can see, but they're actually just digital buttons and you can adjust the temperature that way. I have literally no regrets with this wax melter. If you're thinking about getting it, I honestly think it's worth the investment and you should just get it. it to save yourself the hassle. When I first started making candles, I was using a double boiler on my stove, and I cannot believe that's what I used to do looking back, because that was just so painful. It was so messy to clean up as well. For the last thing, for equipment, as you guys probably already know, and it's a must-have, and we all probably already have it, it's my iPhone, and I use my phone every day for all day. Probably too much if I'm being honest, but my phone has been probably the biggest tool and investment for my small business that I could get this year. If you don't have money to buy a camera, using your iPhone or whatever phone you have works just as well. It's just my phone doesn't have a lot of storage on it, so that's why I ended up getting a camera. But you can take videos vertical, horizontal. Obviously, you should probably use social media for your small business as well for marketing. So Instagram is really easy just to open on your phone, snap a photo, and upload from there. I know confidently that I cannot live without my phone. As sad as that says, don't come at me in the comments, but yeah, I cannot live without my phone. And I'm honestly thinking about upgrading, but then I wasn't that happy with the iPhone 16 that came out this year. So I'm hoping if I wait another year, the iPhone 17 will be better and have more features. I don't have anything wrong with my phone right now. It's just the storage is like so awful. I always have to keep deleting photos and videos, and I just want to get rid of that. I also think that the audio quality on iPhone is not that bad either. I'm not like a tech person, but from what I can see and what I've used, honestly, I have no regrets with filming on my phone as well. When I first started my YouTube channel, I actually just used my iPhone at the time, and I don't really think anyone commented about the video quality back then. So if you're thinking about starting a channel, I think even just using your iPhone is a great way to start up, and then over time you can invest into a camera if you want to. Okay, so moving on to my second category, and I have softwares written down. So I have 4 main softwares that I use this year. The first one being Final Cut Pro. So I use Final Cut Pro on my iMac to edit all of my YouTube videos. Honestly, I have no idea why I started with Final Cut, but that's what I started with, and that's just what I stuck with over the years. You didn't hear from me, but you can get like a cracked version, so you don't have to spend $300 or $400 on the subscription. Yeah, Final Cut Pro I find is just really user-friendly for me. I've had no complaints with it. I mean, I'm not like a hardcore editor, but every function that I've ever looked for has been on there, and it's pretty simple and easy to use for a newbie like me. I've tried other video editing softwares like Capcut, iMovie, and DaVinci Resolve, and I've always just come back to Final Cut Pro in the end because it's just user-friendly for me. Ever since I got my camera this year, I do feel like I've been vlogging a lot more. I think it's just the fact that this camera is so discreet, so I feel more comfortable vlogging, but the fact that I also use Final Cut Pro every week has helped me get more comfortable with the software as well. It can be a little bit daunting at first because the interface has a lot of different buttons on it, but there's a lot of free tutorials if you just watch like YouTube videos or Skillshare videos, and I think if you're looking to start a channel in 2025, just start and you'll learn along the way just like I did. My second software that I use quite a lot is Capcut, and the Capcut icon looks just like this, and I use Capcut to edit all of my YouTube shorts or Instagram reels, basically anything vertical, and I don't know why, I find it way easier to use this interface versus Final Cut Pro for vertical format. I have no idea, maybe it's just like a psychological thing, but it's easier for me to edit vertical photos on my phone, and I like that Capcut is an app, so wherever I am I can just pull it up and I can edit a short or a reel even while I'm out. But this is like what the interface looks like, and you just hit new project at the top and you import your footage, and I can honestly make a reel in probably like 15-20 minutes, and that's really helpful when you're trying to make a lot of content at once. Capcut is free on your phone, but I do know recently they had a lot of paywalls, so maybe it's worth it to get the pro version. The one feature that I use a lot that just became pro is the auto text to caption, and I hate writing all the captions for speech, and so I like the fact that I can just hit auto and it will automatically do it for me. Sometimes I have to go back in and edit it because of my diction, but the fact that it can do the bulk editing for me is really helpful. For another software, I actually use Notion quite a lot. And if you guys aren't familiar, Notion is another app or web-based app, and I use it for all of my planning. So I have a calendar format. I'll put a screenshot on the screen for you guys now, but basically I use it to plan all of my YouTube videos and all of my short form content like on Instagram and YouTube Shorts as well. I just find it easier to plan while I'm on the go versus having a physical planner for this or like a notebook, because I can just pull up the app and start typing away whenever an idea comes to mind. I also like the fact that I can organize things for different subcategories. So if I have a sponsorship, for example, I can color code it as sponsorship, and at a glance I can just see what's coming up on my calendar. People use Notion for a lot of things. I actually started using it back when I was still in university for like school related things, and over time I just eventually started using it for my small business as well. And Notion is free, so you should definitely try using it at least once if you haven't already. I also use Notion to plan all of my markets and to keep track of my application status and dates. So especially with 2025 coming up, I'm starting to keep an eye out for market applications because things do come up really quick and really early. So I just like to have a table and I write down my market date, the application date, and the application status, and also the table cost. And this is nice to have just to refer back on as well. So even right now I can like look at my 2024 year as a glance and see how many markets I got into, how many I didn't, and what my table fees were for the year. The last software that I wanted to talk to you guys about is Kittl. And I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about Kittl already, but I use it a lot for their templates, and they have a lot of free templates that you can use and they look pretty professional. I don't have like a graphic design background because I come from a healthcare based profession, so I just use templates and I can change the writing on it to whatever suits my needs, and then I can also just upload my photos on there as well, and I can have something ready to post in like 1 minute, and it's really handy because it's also free. I'll have a link in the description for you guys if you want, but you can also get a pro version and that will unlock even more features for you guys. Okay, so the second category is market essentials, and as a small business I definitely don't think I would be where I am if I didn't do markets / pop-up events. So it really just helps with marketing and getting your name out there, especially when you're starting. Unless you're like someone famous who I don't know yet, it's really hard for people to find you and your brand. I'm not gonna bring it in my house right now, but the first thing I wrote down was my 10x10 tent, and basically it's like a portable tent that you can bring to outdoor markets, and this is good for shading you in the super hot days. It will also provide shelter on those days where it's super rainy outside, and you can also get sidewalls, so if it's really windy that can also protect you. I actually do know some markets here in Calgary where it's actually mandatory for you to have a tent in order to vend there. Some markets do allow you to rent one, but I think if you are going to do this long term, it's just more cost efficient for you to buy your own tent. I think I bought my tent for $200 and it's well paid for itself already in this year. I believe the market that I was going to, they charge like $150 to rent the tent for the day. So for like an extra $50, you might as well just get your own, and then you can use it wherever and whenever. My friend also said that they use their tent in their backyard for days that they don't have pop-up markets, so it's multi-purpose as well. The next market essential that I wanted to talk to you guys about is my Shopify POS reader, and I have it here in my bag. I used to use my Square reader, but I switched over to my Shopify one, and it just looks like this. A lot of people think it's a calculator when they first see it, but no, it's actually my card reader. And so you just press the on button here, and people can tap their credit card here, or they can insert the chip on the bottom and enter their PIN pad. I personally had a lot of connection issues with my Square readers. I don't know what it is, if it's my phone or if it's the Square reader myself, but yeah, I would just be at a market and it would disconnect, and then I wouldn't be able to take payment from somebody, and obviously that's like a huge pain, not only for myself but for my customer while they're standing there waiting for me to fix my issue so that they can pay. Ever since I switched to Shopify, knock on wood, but I haven't had any connection issues at all with it. It's been really great. And this is portable too. The square reader one I would say is like about this big because it doesn't have the pin pad, but I actually prefer having the pin pad on here because with my square reader I would have to give people my phone to enter their pin if they needed to insert their card, versus this it's just all customer based and I don't have to have them touch my phone. The biggest reason why I switched to Shopify square reader instead of my square reader is because it syncs with my online store. So I use Shopify to run my online website, and using the tap reader, this syncs with my inventory, so I don't have to go home after every market and manually update my stock. It will already be done for me. I did run into a few occasions where I oversold something because I would be at a market and something would sell and then someone would also buy something on my website, and because my square reader didn't talk to my Shopify, they just collided and I would have to email the customer and apologize and ask if they wanted a refund or something else. This just saves me the headache of doing all that. And I believe the fees are pretty similar as well for credit cards. I'll put it on the screen if I can find a table online, but the fees are pretty much similar, so I didn't have a reason not to switch. I'm not sure actually how much this costs because I got it on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody was closing down their business, so they were selling this for like $5, I think. I would recommend to check Facebook for anything that I'm mentioning secondhand before you buy it in person as well, because sometimes you can find a really good deal. Okay, so another market essential I have is my wooden pegboard display. I'm not going to bring it down here as well, but I'll put a photo. You guys all know what it looks like if you've watched any of my videos, but I bring that market display everywhere except for when I am double vending somewhere or when I'm traveling. And this wooden display is from a company called Vertical Ledge. They do a lot of pegboard displays for businesses and small businesses. I actually got this as like not a gift because I bought it, but my friend Tina had it sent to her from the company, and then she didn't have a use for it because it was too big, so she gave it to me basically, and I've been using it ever since. The only downside is that it can get a little bit scratched up. I kind of wish that the wood was a little bit more durable or that they put a different finish on it, but oh well, it does its purpose and it's pretty heavy duty, so it's nice for those markets that are outside because I don't have to worry about it toppling over unless it's super windy outside. I don't think Vertical Ledge covers duties though, because my friend Tina got charged duties when she had the parcel delivered. So if you're in Canada, keep that in mind. But if you're in the US, I'm not sure what their shipping policy is, but you wouldn't have to pay duty fees. So moving on, another market essential, I literally use it every market, and it's my wagon. I don't want to bring it over here, but I brought it like here for you guys. I got this wagon for free from Uline, but you can get it from anywhere, like Costco or Amazon also sells it. I think it's like around $50 to $60. I can find a link down below for you guys. A wagon is a must-have. When I first started markets, I was carrying everything by hand, and boxes of candles are not light, you guys, or whatever you're selling, I'm sure you probably have more than one box to carry. So having a wagon has really helped save my back, and it's also minimized the amount of trips that I have to make from my car to the venue. I highly recommend you to invest in a wagon if you can, because it's probably one of the best things that I've ever used in my markets. I've also been transitioning to using a suitcase as well. I have the medium check-in luggage from Monos, and I also have their carry-on, so that's just kind of why I got the medium size, so that they could stack together. But using any suitcase will also be helpful because you can just wheel it, and it will also dual as holding your stuff for you. I used to use like those big plastic tubs, and then I would like lift it somewhere, but then now when I'm looking back, I'm like, why did I do that? I could just use a suitcase and roll it, and it's just way lighter and easier to transport. Also, suitcases are nice if you're doing an outdoor event because you can zip it up and keep all your stuff dry inside, versus if you're using a wagon, the top is open and it's exposed to rain or dust or whatever, so you can keep that in mind as well. The last market essential I wanted to talk to you guys about is my belt bag. I have this one, my mom gave it to me. I think it's like from Costco, but you know, everyone has the Lululemon one. There's so many different colors and patterns and materials, but I just have the plain black one. This is my cash bag, you guys. So I still have everything from my market here. So it fits bills perfectly. I personally hate it when bills are crumpled and folded up. So it's just nice to be able to have your bill just flat in here. And also there's a couple extra pockets on the side. So I have a hand sanitizer And what is this? Oh, my wind muff for my mic is also in here. And then the other side also just has a full length pocket, and I just keep my coins on that side. And then there's also a zip compartment in the back. But I recommend you guys to get a belt bag over a cash box because this is just way more discreet. I've seen people have cash boxes on their markets, and I don't know, when I see it, I'm like instantly, I know that there's money in there and it's just a radar for theft. This is nice. You can just put it on. It's on your body, hard to steal, easy to access your money when you're trying to give change to somebody. It's lightweight, and yeah, I have no complaints with this. I highly recommend you to get this versus a cash box because I just think it's way more secure. Okay, I've been talking for like 30 minutes. My throat is getting so dry. We're on to the last category now, which is my favorite category, and it's self-care. As a small business owner, I've been pretty stressed this year, not gonna lie. There's a lot of nights where I've just been kind of anxious because the future is unknown as a small business owner, especially when you're starting out. You don't really know what the next day is gonna look like. And so something to keep me sane is I've been journaling. I've actually journaled for as long as I can remember. If you guys know me, I have so many journals dating back, and if I go home to Edmonton, I can show you guys. But these are my two favorite journals right now. I use this one. I don't know how to pronounce the company name. I'll put it on the screen for you guys. But I've used this journal brand every year since 2013, I think. I'm like an OG. I wish they would sponsor me, but they don't even know I exist. It's like a Dutch company, I think. And the inside, I personally like lined pages. But they also have two ribbons, and I just use this as like a brain dump. Whatever thoughts I'm feeling, I just like to write it down and get it on paper. And then I also have this journal from Gobi Prince, and my friend Gwen runs her small business. I actually just picked this up at the market this past weekend, but she hand bounds all of her books. These are dotted pages. My other one is lined. I'm thinking I will use this one for 2025, and I will maybe use this for like small business stuff. It's like a super cute size too, but I bought it because I felt like the cover fit me at the time and still kind of feeling burnt out. But any journal is nice to get your thoughts out. Sometimes I feel like I'm a burden to the people around me. So even if I just have pen and paper, I can get my thoughts out and I feel like I'm not disturbing anybody. Kind of coinciding with journaling is an agenda. I have this weekly one here. This one's from Shop Min Pling, or Sumin, is also a small business owner friend that I bought this from. And basically it's just Monday to Sunday, and then there's a section for notes. There's a weekly affirmations at the top, and then a date spot as well. But basically any agenda will be nice to write down what you're doing in the week, especially because I'm balancing my small business with my hospital job right now. I usually try to write down stuff I'm going to do on my days off from the hospital. That way, when I wake up, I kind of know what I have to do that day, and I'm not dilly-dallying. And the sun sets at like 3 p.m. these days, so I really got to be on it and start my day early, or else I won't get anything done. So it's just nice to plan things ahead of schedule, so that way I also can relieve a little bit of my anxiety for my to-do list. I also like to use face masks in the night. Usually after a market, after a shower, I like to just decompress and I do a face mask. So this is my personal favorite face mask. It's from Dr. Jart, and it's the Vital Hydra Solution face mask. This comes in a pack of 5, but I just have one like this. And I got these in Korea, but I also stock up at Sephora whenever I'm there. This face mask is so good for Calgary weather, especially because it's so dry here in the winters that this one, when I put it on, my skin is just like plump afterwards. And it's really nice if you put this in the fridge and then put it on because it's really cooling. But yeah, after every market, I try to do a face mask as like a mini reward to myself as well. These aren't cheap, but they're worth it. I feel like for skincare and like self-care, I never cheap out. It's like the one thing. I will like use a coupon at McDonald's or any fast food restaurant to save like 50 cents, but I will not cheap out on skincare. And okay, so to wrap things up, I wanted to talk about my all-time favorite self-care item, and it's my favorite candle. Oh my gosh, you guys, I always get asked what my favorite candle scent is, and it's this one. It's the Mango Sticky Rice. This one is just so fresh, and I don't know, I never get tired of it. I like fruity things, but I also don't like anything too strongly scented. So I think this one is like just what does it for me. This is nice in like your bedroom, in your bathroom, in your kitchen. I just feel like it's really multi-purpose. I've burned through so many of these candles, you guys. It's kind of bad at this point having my own candle business because I basically have access to unlimited candles and I can just use up my own stock. So I have to pace myself, especially because it's like cozy winter season here now. I always have this candle burning in my room. So anyways, those were all of my favorites for 2024 Small Business Edition. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and leave a comment down below what your favorites were for the year as well, or if you had any of the same favorites as mine. I always love to know what you guys are thinking, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching and following me on my small business journey this year. As you know, we're learning together and we're learning as we go, so I'm super excited to see what 2025 holds for us. Thank you for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye!